Fauci, I want to ask your thoughts. We've talked a lot about vaccines, but on therapeutics, there are a lot in the pipeline heading toward clinical trials. What are you most optimistic for when you look at the drug landscape for COVID-19?
Well, the drug landscape, as you might imagine, is different from the vaccine landscape. You know, there was a clinical trial with a drug called Remdesivir in hospitalized individuals who had lung involvement. So it was a special group of people who were in the hospital and had documented lung involvement. And the study, which was the first actual placebo-controlled trial of almost 1,100 individuals, showed that there was an advantage of Remdesivir in diminishing the time it took to recovery. It was significant from a statistical standpoint, but the effect was modest. It was about a 31% diminution in the time to recovery. We can build on that. There are a number of drugs, the antivirals, that have been developed for other infections that can be repurposed. The things that we are looking at very carefully is the use of convalescent plasma, namely taking the plasma from an individual who's been infected and recovered and passively transferring that to an individual who is infected, or to prevent infection. There's hyperimmune globulin. There's monoclonal antibodies. There's therapies against parts of the disease that we didn't fully recognize until relatively recently, like the microthrombi, or these little clots that we're seeing in the lungs and in other organ systems. So things like platelet inhibitors or anticoagulants are being considered. Things of dampening down excessive inflammation are being considered. There are many things right now that are in various stages of trial. Hopefully, we'll be able to get one or two or more of these, which will show to be quite effective.
And Dr. Fauci, we know that you need to get on with some other things, so I'll just ask you one last question. All of us are feeling a lot of stress right now. It's a hard time, and we know that you personally are working incredibly long hours and reading that you're perhaps not getting very much sleep. So we just wanted to ask, how are you personally holding up through all of this?
Well, thank you for asking. I'm actually doing fine. I'm trying to pace myself to the extent. I mean, we have clearly 18, 19-hour days, but that's what we do. I mean, that's the job I have, and I willingly accept it. Other than that, I'm actually doing fine. I could use a little bit more sleep, but then again, a lot of people could use a little bit more sleep. But we're in a situation right now that's so important that I'll worry about catching up on sleep at a later